Belgian authorities may have missed their chance to prevent these killers from carrying out their plan. Belgian authorities arrested one of the key players in the Paris attacks 4 days before the Brussels attack. But despite what we're told was a high level of interest in him, he was questioned for about 2 hours and was not asked any questions about possible pending attacks. We're talking about Saleh Abdeslam, who you see pictured here. Retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn is the former director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and he joins me now. Good to have you here tonight, sir. Welcome.
Hi, Martha. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for having
me. General. Good to have you with us here tonight. You know, you listen to Mike Tobin's report. You listen to this evidence about Abdeslam and how he was treated when he was in custody, not asked any questions at all for 24 hours, despite the fact that he had bomb-making material and bombs that were set to go in his apartment. How could that be?
Yeah, Martha, one of the things that I think is coming out of this is the real need for much stronger intelligence sharing particularly inside of Belgium. The other, though, and I will tell you, you know, because I do consider myself an expert on interrogation and debriefing of captured personnel or detained personnel, and it's going to take more than a couple of hours to get the kind of information that you need out of these individuals who are suspect. So I think as we go forward, and we're going to all have to do this. I know our FBI does an extremely professional job here in this country. I know our military does an extremely professional job over in the combat zones that we've been in. But these countries in Europe are going to have to come to grips with figuring out how do they do this to be able to hold people long enough to get the kind of information that they need and to do it professionally. What we're finding, what you're reporting, is that there was a potential that we could have had this kind of information prior, but because of whatever rules and policies that they have, they may have failed to do that, which is a shame.
Yeah, I don't understand this. You know, I mean, we're looking at the picture of Saleh Abdeslam, who, as we said, had bomb-making material in his apartment. They had every reason to think that he would have information about something else that would happen. And then you have the Brussels attack just days later. And we know that, you know, there's a mentality of sort of a law enforcement proceeding, that they're going by all the rules. But when there are attacks happening all around you, why would that not ramp up sort of adrenaline in you that would force you into finding any possible way to keep him as long as you could and question him as much as you could? What's the mentality?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think that this is, number one, this is an extremely difficult intelligence problem. But besides being an intelligence problem, this is a leadership problem. I mean, this is a problem where the leadership that we have and the leadership that is involved in these things, they have to recognize the severity of the type of enemy that we are facing and what lengths they are willing to go to in order to kill people and to terrorize societies and communities. So, I mean, we're going to find out more about these guys. There's going to be all sorts of raids, and these things are going to happen. We're going to have other attacks, Martha, in the future. The leadership in these nations, to include the United States of America, it has to come to grips with the type of enemy that we are facing, and we cannot look at this as a criminal act. We have to look at this as a terrorist group that is either inspired or directed by the Islamic State, based out of Raqqa, Syria right now, and more is going to happen. So when we start to look at the problems that we're facing and the kind of things that you just described with this, having this guy and what they've discovered in his apartment, we're going to find out more of these things. So I hate to sit here and tell you that more to come, but more to come on this and these inspired attacks.
I mean, you can have a bomb-making factory, essentially, around the corner from NATO headquarters, and you have no sense of urgency in questioning this man in the most compelling way possible that may have prevented this attack, which must be heartbreaking for people who lost individuals here.
We don't want the sense of urgency. We don't want the sense of urgency to come after the attack. We want these people to realize that they have to have a sense of urgency. And we don't need another Paris, another San Bernardino, or another Brussels. We have to get this sense of urgency now because the enemy, Martha, is acting much faster than we are right now.
All right. General Mike Flynn, always good to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Martha. Thank you.
Words of wisdom.